Patricia Tim,
Yes.
Rachel Wise.
Yes.
Maureen Nichols,
Yes.
Patrick McPherson,
Yes.
Molly O'Halloran.
Yes.
John Witzel.
Yes.
Lisa Fricke. Patsy Co-Johns.
Yes.
And Commissioner Bloomstead.
Yes.
All present.
All right, please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Information regarding the Open Meetings Act is posted on the east wall of this room on the south side of the door. Streaming will be available through the State Board of Education website, www.education.ne.gov/stateboard. Board members, please remember to engage microphones before speaking and turn them off when they are finished, and please turn off personal cell phones. Thank you. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the December 1st and 2nd, 2016 meetings?
I would make the motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none. Denise, please call the roll.
John Witzel.
Yes.
Patsy Co-Johns.
Yes.
Lisa Fricke.
Yes.
Molly O'Halloran.
Yes.
Patrick McPherson.
Yes.
Maureen Nichols.
Yes.
Rachel Wise.
Yes.
Patricia Tim.
Yes.
8 yes.
The approval of the agenda. Commissioner, are there any recommended changes for today's agenda?
Yes, I do have one recommended change, and that would be that we would remove item 7.1A. And this is an item in which we were set to consider grants through the innovation grant process. Due to some, the uncertainty right now with budget, we're going to delay that for a month and make sure that we can observe the legislative processes and the budget introductions. And rather than grant something and have to pull it back, we'd recommend that you go ahead and pull this off the agenda for today.
To approve today's agenda as amended.
I move to approve agenda with the amendment of removing 7.1.A.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none. Denise, please call the roll.
Patrick McPherson.
Yes.
Maureen Nichols.
Yes.
Rachel Wise.
Yes.
Patricia Tim.
Yes.
Patsy Co-Johns.
Yes.
Molly O'Halloran.
Yes.
John Witzel.
Yes.
Lisa Fricke.
Yes.
8 yes.
All right, thank you. Next, we move into 2017 organization of the State Board of Education. And I'm going to start with a moment's president's point of privilege before we move into this agenda to, first of all, thank all of you. It has been an honor to serve as president for the past 3 years. I think we have really collectively moved towards a shared vision of leadership that really has culminated, as we know, in a strategic plan and culminated in steps that I think really are significant for us as a State Board of Education. As some of you already know, I also am not interested in serving again and ready to step down as president. I think that, again, through shared leadership, it's an opportunity for someone else to serve in this role, but I do want you to know what an honor and privilege it has been to serve in this role over the past 3 years. With that, we'll move into our process, and in that process, we'll be asking someone to make a 3-part motion. That 3-part motion indicates that the Commissioner, as Secretary of the State Board, will preside over the nomination and election process, that the election to the offices of President and Vice President will be for 1-year terms, and that a roll call vote will be used during the election, after which the Commissioner will declare the result. Is there a motion to this effect?
Madam Chairman, I'd so move. Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none. Denise, please call the roll.
Lisa Fricke.
Yes.
Patsy Co-Johns.
Yes.
John Witzel.
Yes.
Patrick McPherson.
Yes.
Molly O'Halloran.
Yes.
Maureen Nichols.
Yes.
Patricia Tim.
Yes.
Rachel Wise.
Yes.
8 yes.
All right, and this is the part that makes me most nervous to actually have to help run the meeting, but thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, I guess. So nominations are now open for President of the State Board of Education. According to Robert's Rules of Order, no seconds are required for nominations. A member may nominate himself or herself. Votes may be cast for any current member of the State Board, even if they are not nominated.
I'd like to nominate Patricia Tim for president.
All right, so, John? Any other nominations?
Yes, I'd like to nominate, excuse me, Molly O'Halloran for president. And if I take a moment of privilege there, I'd like to say that I believe she's got the knowledge, the interest, the passion, and enthusiasm to do the job. I believe she's got the leadership skills, the dedication, and certainly the time to do the job. And I think it's time maybe for somebody from the western part of the state to lead us and lead this group. And with that said, I certainly appreciate Pat and all her efforts as well. So, whomever gets a job I'm sure will do a great job. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? All right, so if there are hearing none, we'll close nominations. Board members are reminded that a majority of votes cast is required for an election. Absentations, and that's easier for me to say, do not count as votes cast. Denise, please call the roll for each board member's vote for board president.
Okay. John Witzel,
Patricia Tim.
Patrick McPherson,
Molly O'Halloran.
Patricia Tim, Lisa Fricke,
Patricia Tim.
Molly O'Halloran,
Molly O'Halloran.
Maureen Nichols,
Patricia Tim.
let's see, Rachel Wise,
Patricia Tim.
Patsy Co-Johns.
Patricia Tim.
So we have 6 for Patricia Tim, 2 for Molly O'Halloran.
So the president of the State Board of Education is Patricia Tim for 2017. I'll now move to the vote for vice president, and nominations are now open for vice president. According to Robert's Rules of Order, no seconds are required for nominations. A member may nominate himself or herself. Votes may be cast for any current member, even if they are not nominated.
Mr.
Maureen?
I proudly nominate John Witzel.
And I will nominate Molly O'Halloran for the same reasons I indicated earlier.
Are there any further nominations? Hearing none, nominations are closed. Board members are again reminded that a majority of votes cast is required for an election. Abstentions do not count as votes cast. Denise, please call the roll for each member's vote for board vice president.
Maureen Nichols,
John Witzel.
Patrick McPherson,
Molly O'Halloran.
John Witzel,
John Witzel.
Molly O'Halloran,
Molly O'Halloran.
Patricia Tim,
John Witzel.
Lisa Fricke,
John Witzel.
Patsy Co-Johns,
John Witzel.
and Rachel Wise.
John Witzel.
We have 6 for John, 2 for...
So the vice president of the State Board of Education for the year 2017 is John Witzel. And I'm about done with my role here. We will take a brief recess to actually get reorganized and reset. We have to move our seating arrangements around a little bit, so we'll take a little bit of time. I'll gather up with Pat Tim and John Witzel for a little while so we can get ourselves organized, and we'll come back. We say 30 minutes. Hopefully it's quicker than that, but we'll take a little bit of time to do that. Let's say,
5 minutes.
10? I could try it at 10. Let's come back at, let's do 15. Let's come back at 5 till 11, so.
We will call the meeting of the State Board of Education back into order. Do we need to vote on that? No. No, we're ready to go. Okay. Well, first of all, I would really like to thank everyone for their vote of confidence in my doing this. This will be my second time as serving as president because I served during the year that we hired the commissioner. And he's still here. So, you know, I think we did a good job. As you listen to the commissioner's report in reflection on this past year, I was watching that very closely. And we have done a tremendous amount of work, and I thank all of you for that, like Rachel did. It was certainly a shared leadership year, and I want that to continue as we move forward. Now we have even more work that we've created for ourselves because of the foundation of having a strategic plan and having our accountability system in place. So I see, again, and I like our new committee structure very much because it does give each of us the possibility and the opportunity to be involved in the entire leadership of the board. And I think we have shown this past year what that has done for education in Nebraska, and I look forward to working with John. John, do you have anything you'd like to?
No, I just want to thank, if you will, the board for their vote of confidence in our leadership. We look forward to moving forward with each of you. Granted, we have a full plate this year, and I'm sure each of us is looking forward to getting after it. So thank you very much.
I did mention committees, and we will, Donlin's going to pass out just a listing of our committees. I think you're all very aware of them. But just so you have a listing of what they are, I would ask that in the next week or so that you look at that list and think about where your strengths would fit into that committee structure, and then let me know. And what I would like you to do is mail this to me once you've decided what committee you would like to be involved in. I will assure you we will do our very best to give you your first choice, but you have to understand we've got 6 committees and 8 people, and we have to spread you out in places so we all have the work to do and can get it done. So you might not get your first choice, but if you don't, we'll do our best in doing that. But please see that I get that sheet of paper back. I will then share that with John and with the commissioner, and we will do the appointments prior to the beginning of our legislative retreat. And it's an appointment. It isn't anything that the board votes on. So I can make those appointments in January, and then we can get committee meetings set up for our February meeting, and the work will begin. So with that, we will go into our public comment period of time, and we have some people with us today. Thank you for being here and taking the time. We have not had any requests for appearance, and the request for appearance is the fact that you can speak a little longer. So we'll move into the regular public comment period, and I would like to remind you that if you've not signed in, please do, and I have those cards here. And I would also like to, for our new board members, and to remind the rest of the board and to those of you that are going to speak, because you may speak on anything that you have a concern about or a comment about, it's not an agenda item. So we will not comment or ask questions on the information that you present to us. But we will certainly take that information under advisement, and if there are places that needs to become a part of the action of our board at a later date, that will happen. But please understand that we won't comment today because it's not an agenda item. You have 5 minutes to speak, and we do kind of keep a close eye on that so that our meeting continues and everybody has a chance. And so our first request is from Jay Sears. Jay? For the record, please state your name.
Good morning. For the record, I'm Jay Sears, and I work for the Nebraska State Education Association. And on behalf of those 28,000 educators in the state of Nebraska who work with our children in the classrooms, I want to thank all of you for the work that you're about to take on. I'm sorry to those of you who I talked to about being candidates. I lied to you. The work is really tough. To Pat, congratulations and thank you for taking on the leadership again for the State Board of Education. I know you'll do a great job. And John, you're her right-hand person. Good luck, and I know you'll do a great job also. On behalf of those 28,000 educators also, Rachel, thank you for all of your leadership with the board and the work that you've done during the strategic planning process and getting us off and ready to go so we can be the best state in providing education for our youngsters. So thank you for your leadership. For Patsy and Lisa, welcome aboard to the State Board of Education. You'll find these people very helpful, very knowledgeable, and you'll learn a lot in the first year, and then you'll be off and running for your last 3 years, and then you'll have to run again. So thank you for all of your work. It's great work to do. For Molly, thank you for volunteering your services and wanting to be an official of this board and officer. I know that not having a title won't slow you down in the process of being a leader here. And as Pat started out with her talk to you this morning, it is shared leadership. There's 8 board members that have a vote on the policies and the direction that we're going in the state of Nebraska for education. And I have great confidence in the 8 of you that sit here that set the policies for the board. And I know the work isn't easy, but I'm sure it comes from your heart in what you do. So thank you for what you do and what you'll do for the next year. And I'm still with you. Cindy's out in the panhandle in the snow. She exchanged places with Molly. She's out in North Platte, sitting in the deep snow out there, working with our members out there. And so she'll be back in February, and we'll keep her training going too. So, and Matt, good luck with your new board members and the rest that are following. And I know you'll be continue your great leadership for us. So thank you very much.
Our next request is from Deb Andrews.
Good morning.
You'll have 5 minutes.
Is this the microphone? Is it on? Thank you. I'm Deb Andrews, 1235 A Street here in Lincoln. Welcome to the newly elected board members. I hope you will provide the new members with previously shared testimony by myself and others regarding effective reading and math curriculum and instruction. Decades of results from the National Assessment of Educational Progress reveal the majority of Americans and Nebraskans are not proficient in the basic skills of reading and math, the foundation for all higher level learning, and most importantly, reason and logic. Just 22% of Black Nebraska 4th grade students are proficient or above in reading, and only 12% of Black Nebraska 4th grade students are proficient or above in math. This failure to educate effectively neutralizes African Americans, the one group that has kept alive a spirit of resistance and rebelliousness. 80% of Nebraska business and civic leaders said they have a workforce shortage of skilled labor and technical skills. U.S. students rank 40th in the world in math literacy and 24th in reading. The question is, why? Mass education failure has severed the citizenry from print while bombarding them with constant propaganda. The undereducated citizen is kept off balance, passive, insecure, and in a continuing state of worry, while power is constantly projected upwards. The citizen has become irrelevant in elections. Pliant legislators are served up for lobbyists to shape. Not all members of this board are pliant, as revealed in the voting record. More than 300 people register as lobbyists in Nebraska each year. According to the Lincoln Journal-Star, term limits and staff retirements have made lobbyists a more critical source of institutional knowledge. The union is allowed time at this microphone even as citizens have been silenced. The late Sheldon Wallen, author and professor at Princeton and UC Berkeley, theorizes, inverted totalitarianism allows the facade of civil liberties, education, and free press while having seized all of the mechanisms of power. Persistent education failure does not serve the student, society, or the country, yet it does facilitate control by a select few. Inverted totalitarianism is a rational explanation for our current state. Lobbyists and pliant legislators determine our destiny. As we start this new year with new board members, decide who you serve and what your goals are. A return to effective instruction of the basic skills of reading and math would be the first step to break the shackles holding us back. Every decision should be driven by its effect on student learning and achievement.
Our next public comment request is from Charlene Edmondson.
Good morning. I'm Charlene Edmondson, and I live at 5068 North 165th Street in Omaha. I am married to my husband for 47 years and have 8 grandchildren that all live in Omaha. And my message is just very short and sweet. I just want you to know that I should tell you I'm a member of Omaha Liberty Ladies and of Nebraskans for Founders Values. And I just want you all to know that I so appreciate and look forward to the roll call vote. That's it. And thanks for all your service.
Okay, and our last request is from Rachel Pinkerton. Mrs. Pinkerton, good morning. You'll have 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Good morning, Happy New Year, congratulations, and most of all, I thank each of you for volunteering your time and your effort. And I sense a lot of enthusiasm, and I'm excited about our common purpose and look forward to the coming year and what we might be able to accomplish. LEAP, our Liberty Education Advocacy Project, has been coming before this body for 4.5 years now, promoting local control of education. I regret to say that reports of the death of Common Core are highly exaggerated. It's gone underground, and I appreciate that Nebraska has a commitment to local control, and at least we have an opportunity to lead in the area of getting the power back to the families and the teachers who are the experts on the children. I've sent you a flyer about the 9th Annual State of Education in North Omaha. I've been to that event. I went this year in November, and I went last year. I don't remember seeing any of you there, but I highly recommend it. It's there will be a 10th annual event, and it's very worthwhile. When I went to that event, I went to a breakout session that was conducted by Renee Kerberg on improving the middle school academic performance. And that which brings me to the other piece of paper I've given you that you've probably seen already. It's a reference to the Joe Foss Institute Civics Education Initiative. I got this from Glenn Flint, and my thought is that while this initiative speaks of having a test for high schoolers to take in as a graduation requirement, and I think you have had some discussion about that. Well, my thought was that we could have volunteer teams to go into the middle schools to actually get the students competent in that information. It's basic factual material that I think would give people satisfaction to master, and to master it earlier would help them to organize future learning. I spoke with the past president of the OEA, Chris Prue, about that. He was very enthusiastic. I had envisioned possibly an assembly type format, and he said, well, probably what you would want to start with would be a classroom, and with this extended day that OPS has, there could be social studies teachers who would appreciate a volunteer team coming in with this material that is discrete, measurable instruction. So I had a chance. Renee Kerberg was encouraging, and she referred me to Pam Cohn, Executive Director of Secondary School Support and Supervision for OPS, and that's where it stands. I personally, and I went to Nathan Hale, I think I mentioned that before, that it grieves me to hear about the travails there. I don't know if you've followed the publicity about the chaos. Have you had a chance to get over there, Colonel Witzel? Anyway, that's where I went to, was junior high at the time, and now my time is up. But I also talked to the current president of the OEA, and she assures me that's not overstated, what was shown on the news as far as the chaos, and they are welcoming volunteers. So that's, I'll have more to say about that later.
We usually take a little break now when we have a longer meeting, but since we had a long break a little while ago, I think we'll move ahead so that people we can get this wrapped up. One of the things I did forget to mention to you in regards to the committees is, and we'll see how everybody shakes out and where they want to be, but we've also had some suggestions in the past, and I know since I've been here a while, we've done this. We don't always have 4 board members to a committee. Sometimes it's only 3. And sometimes you don't have to meet every month, depending upon what is on your agenda. So kind of keep that in mind, too, and we'll see how that works out. However, don't take that not meeting very often too seriously because of all we have on our agenda. So thank you. We don't have any hearings today, and let me see. So we don't have any executive sessions, so we'll move into our action items. And our first action item is, the first one was tabled, so the second one is 1B, approve the 2017-2018 bargaining agreement.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to
Yes,
make the
John?
motion to approve the 2017 to 2019 NDE NAPE/AFSCME bargaining agreement.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Does anyone have any other questions? Joel is here. Anyone have any other questions? Okay, then we'll move to the vote. Denise?
Rachel Wise,
Yes.
Maureen Nichols,
Yes.
Patricia Tim,
Yes.
Patrick McPherson,
Yes.
Molly O'Halloran.
Yes.
Patsy Ko-Johns,
Yes.
John Witzel.
Yes.
Lisa Fricky.
Yes.
8 yes.
Thank you.
Question for the chairman.
Yes.
Do we need a motion to for that one to table? We don't?
Actually, technically, we took it off the agenda,
Oh,
so,
okay, thank
so
you.
we did that at the beginning.
Oh, that's right, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
And 1C, to amend the commissioner's contract for salary.
As the appraisal committee chair, I'd like to make the motion to move and grant the commissioner's request that his salary level be frozen at the 2016 level, which is currently reflected in the current change with Amendment 3 to his employment contract.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. And again, we thank the commissioner for being so cognizant of the financial times that we are going through and the example that he is setting in leadership with the department. So, thanks. Okay, vote?
Comment?
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry.
Pat.
I really appreciate the commissioner's dedication to doing this. And I do hope that come May or June, we'll relook the contract to at least address the fact that he ought to receive what other employees are receiving. So I don't want to lose track of that. I think our commissioners worked very hard this last year and done a great job. My inclination might have been to move forward at least with a smaller raise at this point, but certainly come May or June, I hope that the board will move forward with an opportunity to at least look for the next year for the commissioner. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Okay, Denise?
John Witzel,
Yes.
Molly O'Halloran,
Yes.
Patrick McPherson.
Yes.
Maureen Nichols.
Yes.
Rachel Wise.
Yes.
Patricia Ko-Johns, Patsy Ko-Johns.
Yes.
We'll work on that.
Gotta mix these up. Patricia Tim,
Yes.
Lisa Fricky.
Yes.
8 yes.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to the next item, which is the approval of the consent agenda, and I don't believe we had anything pulled off for a separate vote. So do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I so
Rachel?
move. Second.
Maureen? Okay, no questions? Denise?
Lisa Fricky,
Yes.
John Witzel.
Yes.
Molly O'Halloran.
Yes.
Patsy Ko-Johns.
Yes.
Patrick McPherson.
Yes.
Maureen Nichols.
Yes.
Rachel Wise.
Yes.
Patricia Tim.
Yes.
8 yes.
Thank you. Okay, we don't have any special presentations, and so we move to board reports and discussion items. And the first one of that, Matt, do you have anything else about meeting participation?
I think we covered it all. There's a report attached to for anything else, but just as kind of part of our ongoing orientation process is if you do have something, please just let us know and we'll make sure to get it on the agenda for the conversation for the future. So thank you very much.
Okay. And our next one is 10-1 to approve, I need a motion to approve the meeting participation. You have that list as to the meetings that people would like to attend. So is there a motion to approve that list?
Make the motion.
Second.
All right. Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Okay. Denise?
Maureen Nichols.
Yes.
Rachel Wise.
Yes.
Patricia Tim.
Yes.
Patrick McPherson.
Yes.
Molly O'Halloran.
Yes.
John Witzel.
Yes.
Lisa Fricky.
Yes.
Patsy Co-Johns.
Yes.
8 yes.
Okay. You also have in your materials the monthly board travel expense report. So please look at that at a time that you have. Number 11 is information items and written reports, and again, you have those. And if you have time, please look at those. And the contracts that have been approved by the commissioner. And that moves us to adjournment, unless anyone has anything else for the good of the order. Okay. A legislative retreat will be held on Monday, January 23rd at 9. And at 9 a.m., and a work session will be held on Thursday, February 2nd at 2 p.m., and a board meeting for February will be held on Friday, February 3rd at 9 a.m. in this room. Stay warm. Thank you all for attending, and this meeting is adjourned.